Okay, so now it goes to show what type of man, how he kind of looked to a certain degree, Elijah, because the woman knew he was a prophet because of his deeds, by the way. And yeah. And so not only that, but I'm gonna just go up in this one, okay? So it says right here. Now this is the book of 2nd Kings, chapter 1. First, chapter 1, first 1. Sorry, man. 2nd Kings, chapter 1, first 1 until 8. Because I saw the 8, so I wanted to say 8, but I wanted to say, you know what, leave it. So it says right here, first 1. Then Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab. And Ahaziah fell down through a lattice in his upper chamber. What is a lattice, you might ask? If you look up this word, if you look up this word here, lattice, and then you see here 7639, then you go to here, 7639, you will see lattice work. It's the same thing that the Boaz and the two pillars of the temple that King Solomon built for the Ark of the Covenant. It's the same thing. It's a net like this here. It's a net. It's a net thing. And nowadays you have, for example, a lattice on his. So he had 2 floors. He had 2 floors. He had a house with 2 floors, and then, you know, you have here, so you can see that you can see through it and stuff like that. And of course, you put a layer up on it for the rain, because if it rains, you're still gonna get wet. Not as much as here, but you're still gonna get wet. And then you put the thing up on it. And he didn't put, I don't know, the Most High caused it to where when he was walking up on the roof of his place, you know, for example, like this. What? For example, like this. Well, for example, like this. Here is a roof, and here you can see the lattice. The thing here. Yeah, it's a great place. Look great. And then most likely, I don't know if it's here or maybe here, is a roof that you can walk on for the rest of the apartment here. So it's a 2-story house here. Most likely there's rooms there, because this looks like the living room or something like that. Kitchen. It looked like the kitchen because I see the faucet thing for the tap water. But anyway, so you have most likely rooms here, and maybe here is the attic. I don't know. So maybe like this or something like that. And then he was walking here and he fell through. I don't know how high it was, you know. But anyway, so it says right here. He fell down through the upper chamber that was in Samaria, and he was sick. So not only the Most High made him fall, but he got sick too. Which is, you know, crazy. And he sent messages and said unto them, go inquire of Beelzebub. So this guy was a devil worshiper. He didn't believe in the Heavenly Father, and most likely he was angry at the Heavenly Father for how things didn't work out as how he wanted to. So a lot of our people started to worship idols and devils. And this was the idol of Ankron. And Ankron are here, Joshua 13. Ankron is here. So who lived in Ankron? So let me read it. Joshua 13:3. From Sihor, which is near Mizraim, is the river over there. And if you don't know, it's this one. Now, this is the brook of Egypt, which is a very, 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 very big place. That is the border line of, if you read the book of Deuteronomy chapter 34, you will see that our border stops here. Here, the Israelites, their border stop here. Near Sihor. Well, not near Sihor, but kind of here. Because we were not allowed to go over Sihor, because that was the land of the rest of the land. That was the land of Mizraim. Past this. And these are infrared pictures to show you the canals of this place. Because when you look at it like this, you only see mountains. But there's a lot of rivers there. Some of them are underground. A lot of them are above ground. And for example, you see here El Arish, and here you see Al Arish. It's the same thing. They just mess up with the spellings. That's what these people do. They do that often. So if you type in El Arish, you type in El Arish rivers or Wadi El Arish. Wadi is water, something like that. River or something like that. Damn it. City. Okay, so you have this one. Wadi El Arish. Okay, you see this one here, but that's that one. Okay, but you have others. But let me go back to it again. Okay, this one, and then Wadi El Arish. So this is, well, here this is the Brook of Egypt, which I just showed you, but I showed you then there with the real infrared lens and satellite footage. And this is just a map. You can't really see all these canals on a map, but they have all this footage. When you look at it from above, it looked like it's nothing there. If you go closer, you will see there's a lot of trees over there too, but there's more sand, and then therefore you won't really see it. There's another picture. Let me see. This is the picture. Let me see. Infrared pictures. But I'm looking for a... okay, this is what I want, I think. Okay, this is what I want. El Rawafadam. Okay, that's here, right? What? El Rawafadam. I don't even know if I spelled it good. Okay. Other fish. The fish dam, or a wall dam, a fish dam. Basically, you have these type of things there. You have a lot of these type of dams there in that land that when you look at it from above, it looks like it's nothing there. There is something there. There's a lot of these type of rivers there. And until there's day, they grow crops there. You see these little points? Oh yeah, here, look these names. Wadi Abu El Matamir. Wadi Abu El Matamir. I know I didn't spell it right. These places are not Jebel Matamir. Matamir. These places are not... there's not a lot of Arabs that take pictures and post it online of their region, you know? So you're not really going to get it. But I saw places, I know of them because I looked them up. And you can see all these places. They have a lot of rivers. A lot of rivers. And yeah. It's kind of painstaking. Not really painful, but it takes a lot of work. It's not really work, but anyway. If you look up these things, well, Wadi Laban, let me see. Wadi Laban Dam. You know what the irritating thing is? These people screw up with words, and then you don't know if it's Laban or Lavan. It's kind of irritating, but yeah. So that's kind of irritating too. So, but what I'm trying to show you is that these are the places that have these big ass rivers over there. But when you look at Ruddy Laban fell, okay, 2026. But when you look at it from above, you don't see it. You be like, what's there? Well, this is the brook that it's talking about, and it's very extremely big. Extremely big. It's very big, and it's actually one river that sprouts out into different rivers, which is what you can see here in the infrared. It all comes from the Mediterranean Sea, and it's just one thing. Here you can see it. It's just one thing, and then it spreads out all over the place. And you have these places here. A lot of people live over there. I don't know if you know. Many people live here. But you have places here where they gather crops. Let me see. I don't think I have the picture in this thing here. I think I have the picture somewhere else. But they grow crops there. Let me see. Wadi Rum. Wadi is just water. But rivers and stuff like that. Damn it. Anyway, so my point is to show you that let me see. My point is to show you that here you have a lot of rivers, and this is the Shihor, and you have a lot of crops being made here. I can't get that picture right now. For example, you see these little places over here. You have the city there, but all these places over here also gather places for crops. I think it's this one, maybe. No. Okay, let me leave it there. But they have crops there. And if you read the book of Isaiah 23, if I'm correct, let me see. Pardon? Isaiah 23. This is the traffic. Then if you read Isaiah 23, verse 1 until verse 3, you will see that they have traffic and crops there. And one of these words, I don't think it's mart. Mart is the traffic. Traffic, and I think I need to go to the word Sihor then. Sihor. Not this one. They say that it's that, but that's not it. Let me see. I think it's then therefore. This is the Nile. The river. Yeah, I need to go look it up again. It's one of these words here. Revenue. Oh, yeah. It's right here. And it says right here. And by the great waters, the seed of Sihor, the harvest of the river, is her money, is her revenue. That's how they get their money. Back in the ancient days. And nowadays, I did another video about this, showing you, because there I have the map on deck. I don't have it on deck right now. I didn't want to go into this anyway, so I wasn't planning on going onto this anyway, so sorry about that. But back in the time, in the book of Isaiah, it was written that that's how they made their money. And nowadays, that's the same way how they make their money over there. In that region over there. Sure. They make their money the same way because they have the grain and the crops in that region, and that's how they water their stuff because of the water, the big multiple rivers over there, you know. But it's actually one river that spread into multiple things, that channels into multiple things. But yeah, okay, I'll leave that for now. Right, so basically Ekron is here, so let me read it. Joshua 13 and 3, from Sihor, which is before Egypt. But it depends on which way you come from. If you come from Israel and you go here, then it's before Egypt, because here behind it is Egypt. Okay. Even unto the borders of Ekron, northward, which is counted to the Canaanites, 5 lords of the Philistines, the Gazites, and the Ashdodites, and the Ashkelonites, the Gittites, this is Gath, and the Ekronites, which is here, Ekron. also the Avites, which goes into another one, but these are Mizraim, but they live in the land of Canaan. That's where they live, because the Most High brought them there in order to basically beat the shit out the Israelites. I'm laughing, but it's kind of funny because the Lord did that. Amos chapter, what was it again? Brought the Philistines. Capthor. Here. Oh, I was thinking of Amos chapter 9. Amos chapter 9 verse 7. Are ye not as the children of the Cush unto me, O children of Israel, saith Yahweh? Have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Mizraim? Yes. And the Philistines from Capthor, and the Syrians from Kir. Capthor is an island that is from the other brother. This is the island Capthor, Crete. They call it Crete right now, and it is here. This is Capthor. Oh, sorry. This is Capthor. No, because I saw the word right here. Goddamn devils. This is Capthor. This is the land for the is Kittim. They're lying. This is not correct. This is not correct. Crete is Capthor, and this is Kittim from how you call them again? Japhet. Japhet was here because they was doing business with here it says it right here, Tyre. They was doing business with Tyre. Here, Tarshish and Kittim. Tarshish and Kittim are, they spelled it different. Tarshish is here in Genesis chapter 10 verse 4, the sons of Japhet, the sons of Japhan, which Japhet is a son of Japhan. And then you have Kittim, which is another son of Japhet, which is another son of Japhan, but Japhan is the son of Japhet. So Tarshish and Kittim, and here Kittim is spelled different, but this Kittim is spelled the same way as First Maccabees chapter 1. It's not the same way, but it's kind of the same way with the CH. This is one of the reasons why they say that that Esau is Japhet, because Alexander the Creep, it makes you think that he came from Kittim. But just like how Obed-Edom the Gittite came from the Gath, and also Simon the Canaanite, one of the prophets of one of the apostles of the Lord, he was called Simon the Canaanite because he lived there. And Obed-Edom the Gittite, he's a Levite that lived there. So they called him after those regions. Same thing here, okay? Alexander the son of Philip, the Macedonian. Because if you look up Macedonia, the map, you will see it's in Europe. This is Greece. This here. Sorry, not this one. This is Crete or Capthor. And then this, wait, let me show you. Here, ancient Greece map. This is Greece. And who were there? Who was there? Japhet. I'm looking for a good picture. This one, for example, so that it's kind of clear. This is ancient Greece from Japhet. Kittim. You know? This is it. And then you have the Ionian Sea here. Here, Ionian Sea. Here, it's the same thing. Here is the Ionian Sea. Here is Greece, which is Japhet was here. Esau's living in the midst of them. But anyway. Okay, enough of this. Enough of... here's Crete. And they came from here. And they went to here. Because in the scriptures, it shows you that. So they're trying to tell you that this is... No. They're lying to you. Because it's... if you look up this one here. Gen 10. Actually, you need to go here. So Gen 10, sorry, Gen 10. And then you go to Mizraim, and then it says here, Mizraim begot Kasluhim, and out of Kasluhim came Philistim, right? And then you have Captorim. If you look up these words, Philistim, you will see immigrants, the inhabitants of Philistia, descendant of Mizraim, who immigrated from Capthor, Crete. See here, Crete, but they put a question mark, but I know it's there because it. Well, let me show you. To the western sea coast of Canaan. So the western sea coast of Canaan, that's left, right? Yeah, Kittim is near too, but that's not talking about that. Japhet was there in Kittim, in Cyprus. Nowadays it's called Cyprus, but okay. So it says right here, right? And then you go to Captorim, look up that word, Cretans as the inhabitants of Capthor as distinct from the Philistines, because Capthor is an island, but wait, sorry, Capthor is a man. Well, actually, Captorim is a man, and then the place where he was living was called Capthor. That's how I know that that's them. And then the Philistines came there. But what did the Heavenly Father do? He caused the Philistines to get away from their uncles and then come to the land of Canaan. As it is mentioned in the book of Amos chapter 9 verse 7. He brought the Philistines from Capthor into the land of Canaan, stationed them there. They were giants, by the way, and so were their brothers, and so were Mizraim. Mizraim had giants in the midst of them too. Right. And Kaslahim is but here the thing will go off, the explanation. Kaslahim, it says, a people or tribe descended from Mizraim. It says here, progenitors of the Philistines and Captorim. They are not the progenitors of the Philistines. Progenitors means that a direct ancestor or a forefather. That's not what they are. They're the uncles. Here, progenitor, a person or thing of which a person, animal, descends from, originates from, like an ancestor or parent. No, it's not. Sorry, what am I saying? Oh, sorry, I was reading Captor him. Sorry. No, I was correct. Sorry. Let me say it again. Kaslohim is the forefather of the Philistines, but he is not the forefather of the Captorims. Why? Kaslohim and Captorim are here. Kaslohim and Captorim are brothers. Captorim is the uncle of the Philistines, of Philistim, I should say, and Kaslohim is their forefather. So this is not correct. I think I can understand what they mean, but if you just read it like this, it just confused me. You just saw it, right? Because I read it and I didn't think. But here, Kaslahim, a people or tribe, it's the same. Descended from Mizraim, yeah, which the place is called Egypt. Progenitors of the Philistines, yes, but not the progenitors of Captorim. It's not the progenitors. It's their nephews. These people are nephews to them because this is their uncle. Okay, enough of all this here. The point is that they are Mizraim. And Kittim. Okay. The ships of Tarshish and Kittim, which are true Japhetic people, they used to work with the Canaanites. Nowadays, the modern day prince of Tyre is Esau, and the modern day Tarshish and Kittim are the Arabs, because they have the Suez Canal, which has about $15 million every day in revenue, and that's only the money that they show you that they make concerning tolls and all that type of stuff. Yeah, and okay, we capture them. These are the sons of Mizraim. Captor. Because I shows you, they still call it Captor until this day, but they changed the name into Kret. So this can never be Capthor, because this is Capthor, because it shows you right here. And there's multiple other maps that are older than this one, of course, that show you that the island of Capthor is this one. So don't, these devils, they create things in order to confuse people. Why do you think that they create this AI thing that you can fake people? Why would you unleash that on the people? If you read the book of 1984, it makes damn clear, sure, why they did it. To confuse. To make you not know what is what on purpose. The movie Fahrenheit also. Here, this one. They show you in this movie what they're doing. They're breaking away the ancient history and knowledge and then introducing you to new things. In this movie, this man doesn't know about slavery, so he doesn't look at Esau as an enemy by nature. Like, no, these people ain't, no, I don't like them. I'm not friends with these people. No. Some of them, I say hello, bye-bye, and so-called cool with them and stuff like that. But even if you're cool with one, that doesn't mean you need to turn your head toward away from the 999 others that don't like you. The one that likes you, if he invites you to his so-called cookout or whatever, barbecue, whatever they have, don't expect everybody in that place to like you automatically. You should always know that there's somebody, you know what I'm saying? So just because an Edomite girl likes you and wants to be with you and all that type of stuff, that does not mean that the rest of her family like you too. So then keep that in mind. Same thing with the Arabs, same thing with the East Indians, same thing with the Asiatic people, same thing with the Javetic people. It doesn't matter who they are. You have someone in there that don't like you, even among our own fucking people, okay? Some of them don't want others to be with dark-skinned women. Let me see. I forgot her name, man. I forgot. Morena or something? Negra or something? De la Negra, something like this one. When I saw her the first time, I thought it was man, I'm not kidding you, man. Amanda. When I saw her the first time, I thought it was a white woman doing blackface. That's what I thought. Hey, it's pretty one here. His skin is pretty. Skin is pretty. Only your skin, not your hair, bro. Not your hair. You look ridiculous. Anyway, her skin is beautiful too. When I looked at her, and I saw a photo of her. When I looked at her, I thought it's a white woman with her skin done. I don't know how you say that. They just this one. When I saw this for the first, this is my first picture seeing her. I looked at it, I was like, that's a white woman with a spray-on tan, and looked at it like, huh? I looked at this, what the fuck? So I looked her up, and then I saw a few interviews of hers and stuff like that, and then I learned, it's not fucking genius shit to me, like it's not new to me. I learned that when she was younger, her family members used to tell her, you're beautiful for a black girl, you shouldn't she's from Dominica. You should not ugly your genes. You should get a white man. I was like, what the fuck? That's what she said, man. I was furious just listening to that shit, man. I wanted to fight someone, man. And yeah, someone that doesn't look like me. Someone that looked like her family members. Hey, man. Anyway, man. That's some shit right there to make me want to kill people, man. Fucking bullshit, saying dumb shit like that. Yo. And I think it's her now. I think she got older or something like that. Sometimes when people get older, their nose get bigger. And also, I think that she was doing makeup things and stuff like that to make it look like it's small. So I don't know about it. I don't look her up. I looked her up because I wanted to see who the fuck this was. I saw that shit. I was like, huh? I lost the picture. This one. Yeah, I looked her up. I was like, what? It looked weird to me because I saw her skin. I was like, hey, that's a beautiful fucking brown skin color. It's very beautiful. It really looks beautiful. You know, to me it looks like. I don't know what you like. You know, I like other Alicia Keys type of shit too. But still, you know, this is beautiful to me. But anyway, I looked at it. No, I was like, what the fuck? So I looked her up. So anyway, but then I saw an interview and I got furious. Yeah, but anyway, let me leave that. So let me leave all that there. Going into too much details over there. Too much other things, I should say. Let me leave all that there. So 2 Kings chapter 11. 2 Kings chapter 1 verse 2. Okay, so he went to Beelzebub. Nowadays, when you hear Beelzebub, you think of a bee. Like a bee devil. You think of this. Because that's what the devil push. And in games too. They put it in games. Can't figure it out right now. They put a lot of games and stuff like that. You had here this one. I know this game is Castlevania. Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies. Basically. Yeah, this one. And it's 1997, that game. You had more. Let me see. Beelzebub in. Because, you know, these devils, what they do is they use a word and then they put an image to it. So now, as you're growing up, you're going to associate that word to that image because they showed you it. And it does look like a bee because the word bee is in there. So, but when you're young and you're playing these games, you have no idea what the hell you're playing. Until you get older, you'll be like, what? That was some devil shit. I always thought about bees when I heard Beelzebub. Bee, look, bee, bzz, 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 you know? Didn't know that. But now I know. But through that, it should also show you that, oh, they use words and images, put them together. That's why when you have this word, what do you get in your head? When you hear the word Egypt, you think of brown, you think of sand, you think of pyramids, and you think of the Sphinx nose being shot off. Or at least I do. You know? I think that is what comes in my head. Pyramids, sand, the whole sand color thing, brown, and then golden brown, whatever you want to call it. And I don't get this in my head when I think of Egypt, man. I do not get this in my head. Because that's not the image that these demonic creatures have planted in your head concerning, for example, these cartoons. Huh? No, that's probably different. You get these sceneries in your head from Aladdin and stuff like that. You get these, well, I get these sceneries in my head because that's what they show you, especially when you're young. So now you have an image in your head. Yeah. Anyway, enough of this. That's what they do. With the Egypt, they did it. With Mesopotamia, they did it. You know. But then you, Lord willing, you start growing up and you start looking up stuff for yourself. You don't get taught by the caucus, boy. You learn from them. Meaning, you learn from the bullshit that they do, and you learn, oh, don't do that one. No, the Lord is not, no, don't do that, and don't do that, and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You don't let him teach you. You don't let him sit you down and teach you, you know, boy, a girl could be a boy, and a boy could be a girl. Two daddies and two moms. You don't sit down and let him teach you. Boy, you might as well kick yourself in the balls then. You know, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this disease. So he got sick, he fell through, and then he wanted to know if he was going to be all right. But the angel of Yahweh said to Elijah the Tishbite, arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, which was Ahaziah, okay, which was him. And say unto the messengers, look, so the king Ahaziah, he fell through, so he sent messengers to inquire of the devil, Beelzebub, the god of the Ekronites, which were Philistines. Well, yeah, it was Mizraimites, I should say. Yeah, the Philistines, the descendants of Philistine that was living in Ekron. That is what they are, right? And to inquire of them is what we used to do with Yahweh, which is I'm gonna read it. First Samuel 9:9. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of the heavenly Father, thus he spake, come, and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer. Wait, sorry, I had to do something. Was before time called a seer, right? Okay, so what did he do? This Israelite man wanted to go to the devil, the god of the Ekronites, the idol of them, and then he asked whether I shall recover of this disease. So he told his messengers, go and ask for me. But the angel of Yahweh said unto Elijah the Tishbite, arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, is it not because there is not a power in Israel that ye go to inquire of Beelzebub, the idol of the Ekronites, the people in Ekron? Now therefore, thus saith, basically he asked them, like, so there is no God in Israel that you have to go to him? Huh? That's what you're doing? Right? Now therefore, thus saith Yahweh, Elijah told the messengers that what Yahweh said, thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shall surely die. And Elijah departed. And when the messengers turned back unto him, unto the king Ahaziah, he said unto them, why are ye now turned back? How come you so... ain't I send you over there? How'd you get back so fast? Because he met them on the way there. So, they went back. And they said unto him, there was a man up to meet us. Sorry, they came a man up. See, I made a mistake. They came a man up to meet us and said unto us, go, turn again unto the king that sent you, and say unto him, thus saith Yahweh, is it not because there is not a power in Israel that thou sendest to inquire of Beelzebub, the idol of Ekron? Therefore, so because you did that, therefore thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. And he said unto them, what manner of man was he which came up to meet you, and told you these words? And they answered him, he was an hairy man. Now, you have a lot of Edomites that will use this and say, he's the Edomite, he's hairy. Nope, because first and foremost, Esau was not hairy when he was born. He was red. Well, I'm going to get that later. And girth with a girdle of leather about his loins. And he said, it was Elijah the Tishbite. So now it shows you here that he was a hairy man. But now if you go to here, if you look up the word hairy man, 2 Kings chapter 1, because it says in the scriptures that Jacob was a clean... Wait, let me see here. Later on, he did become hairy. So I'm not taking it from that. And even prophetically, Omen, which is name meaning, prophecy, something like that, he went to go live with a man named Seir, and that man's name, Seir, means hairy, and Seir the Horite. So Horite means cave dweller. So he went to Seir the Horite. Let me get it for you. Sorry, not here. Let me get it for you. He went to Seir Horite. Here. So These are the sons of Seir, the Horites. So Seir is a man. Seir is Hebrew 8165. Hebrew 8165. It says here, patriarch of the Horites. He's the forefather of the Horites. So Seir is a place, but Seir is a man, and that place was named after that man. Okay. Then what it says also here in Mount Hor in Deuteronomy 34. Deuteronomy 34. No, 32. 32 is good too. So your brother died in Mount Hor. Mount Hor is the Horites. The Horites were there. That's their mountain. See here, and the Horites in their Mount Seir, because the Horites used to live there first, and then they were succeeded by here, Edom. Where is it again? Here, Deuteronomy 2:22. And he did to the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, when he destroyed the Horims, which is another name for the Horites, from before them, and they succeeded them, and dwelled in their stead, even unto this day. So they took their place, and they succeeded them. So what is succeeded? It means this. No. Take over a throne. So what throne? They took the throne of the Horites from Seir, the man. Anyway, going on. So he's the forefather of the Horites. So the word Seir means hairy or shaggy. And then you have the word Horite, which is Hebrew 2752. Hebrew 2752. It says cave dweller. So what is his full name? Seir the Horite, which is a hairy cave dweller. It says here the inhabitants of Mount Seir, because they were the first. Those are the Horites. And then the inhabitants of Edom in later times. And they took over the land of Seir. The land, well, yeah, the land of Seir. But yeah, it was a man. It was a man. Just like the land of Canaan. It's a man, but you have different tribes over there, you know? Well, it's the same thing over here too. It's the same thing. This one. Right. So, Seir the Horite. He is a hairy cave dweller. But going back to this one over here, because there's either two things. Either he was hairy with the body, or they loved hairy clothing. And I'll get to that, because it's going to show you here. So, okay, Genesis, I don't need that one. So they say he was a hairy man. Okay, now go into the book of Matthew chapter 3 verse 4. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, not Elijah. This is Isaiah, as you can see here. Here, who is Isaiah in the Bible? Isaiah is Isaiah. Isaiah. Because the Greeks spelled it and then they spell it this way. But in the Old Testament, it's spelled this way. Because the Old Testament is from the Hebrew into the English, and the New Testament is from the Greek into the English. There is a New Testament in the Hebrew, but it's then from Hebrew to Greek, and then from Greek to English, instead of just Hebrew to English. But sometimes Esau, being the devil, he goes from the Hebrew and then he translates it from the Hebrew to the Greek, and then from the Greek to the English. That's why it says here Idumea. It doesn't say Edom. Where the fuck? Why is this word in the Old Testament? Why? Why does it even exist? Because back in the days we didn't have internet, so you could find things just like that. So now all you need to do is do this, and guess what? Boom, Edom. I typed in Edom. No, it knows better. Edom and Idumea are two related but distinct terms. Yeah, the terms is the same people. It's the same word. If you look up the dictionary, it will tell you that it's talking about Idumea, Latin Idumea, whatever, man. He is a devil. He changes things so that you don't know where it originated from. Even the book 1984 shows you that. Let me show you a little snippet from 1984. Now, this is a summary of the book of 1984. So it's I'm just gonna go to the point. It's very at the end is the end. This is the end. So if I put it in the description box, you will know where to find it. There's many more information in it, but yeah, this is all good. No. Let me see. It's there's more thing, but what they did was they took something happened, and I lost all my notes and stuff like that because I colored things that are important and stuff like that. I don't have it anymore. Something happened. Anyway, let me leave that. When old speak had been once and for all superseded, the last link with the past would have been severed. That's what they're doing. And this book was written in the 40s. When was? It was written in 1946 until 1948. Because it doesn't take one day to write a book. It takes years. And he was writing this book for 1984, which is 80. That's 40 years later, basically, almost 40 years later, something like that. Yeah, 82 or something, whatever. Not 82, 48 or something like that. 1948. No, 41. What the hell am I saying? 48, 1984. Whatever, man. It's about 40 years later, whatever. 38. Whatever. Okay. History had already been rewritten because that's what they're doing. They're doing this, man. Okay? They say like the slaves came as workers, you know? That's what they're teaching us kids now. But anyway, let me go on. But fragments of the literature of the past survived here and there, imperfectly censored. They can't get everything because they can't. Because they're devils and they can't. It's too much. For example, if you type in Ruddy skin, right? Hey, what the hell? What are you gonna get? What? I said Ruddy. Okay, nowadays you do get this. But back in the days, believe me, I did it many times. You didn't get this. But nowadays, this is Ruddy. Red Ruddy. This is Ruddy. But it doesn't specifically... Look, I'm going to show you right here. Ready? It doesn't necessarily go into that, but I'll show you here. So it says here, 1 Samuel 16:12, and he sent. So Samuel sent and brought him in. So I think Jesse sent. Yeah, so Jesse sent, but Samuel told him to do it. Now he was ruddy and withal of a beautiful countenance and goodly to look to. And Yahweh said, arise, anoint him, for this is he. So King David was named to be ruddy, right? But if you look up other translations, it says he had a dark, healthy complexion. That's the true definition of the word ruddy. Yeah, and his son was so dark he called himself, he was black. And it's possible, but a light-skinned person and a dark-skinned woman, it's not really gonna get a supreme dark-skinned child. It's gonna be a dark brown with a very dark brown woman, and then they're gonna get a very dark child. Yeah. So here, this is dark, healthy complexion. And then you have another one, which is dark and handsome. That's the real definition of the word ruddy. And you can look it up. I can do it for you. Here, ruddy. Here, ruddy. Yeah. I just read this one, which is 1 Samuel 16:12. I'm going to get it real quick, which is here, Hebrew 132. Hebrew 132. It says here, ruddy, red, Esau's an infant. They're lying to you. But... well, he was red. But I'm going to go here to the... Did they change this? Anyway. Oh, yeah, I got it. Adam. So they say that ruddy is red, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go to Adam, the word Adam, which is 120. Genesis chapter 2, verse 19. So, click here. So it says here, man, perhaps so called from the idea of redness. They're lying to you. Because the earth is dark brown. Dumb. The Arabians distinct two races of men. One red, comma, ruddy. comma, because they're filthy devils with that snake tongue. They don't write it for plain people, for normal people. They write it to make you guess, like, so what are you talking about? I kind of get it. What do you be more, spit it out. But they don't do that because they're devils. So it's just like when the government sends you a letter, they really want to make you not understand it so they can screw you over. But when they really want to, when it's something else, then they'd be normal with it. But anyway, so it says right here, one red, comma Ruddy, which we call white. So the red is now called white, and the Ruddy, the other, see, he writes it as how the devil does it. Look at how he wrote it. Not plain, irritating, to make you guess. And that's why Yahushua said, "O thou of little faith, why didst thou doubt?" Esau is a creator of doubt. So you're not going to be sure what he says. You're going to fall. He wants you to fall. That's what he is. He's a creature of, boy, I don't have words enough. And he's a deceiver. Anyway, so it says right here, he's a liar. He's a twister. Anyway, one red, comma, Ruddy, which we nowadays call white, and the other we call black. But I'm going to read what it says. One red, Ruddy, which we call white, the other black. Which one are you talking about? You see what I mean? You can be like, yeah, I think that that's, but he can be like, no, that's not what I mean, because he didn't write it like that. But anyway, let's leave this. We know what it is. Ruddy is black. That's what it is. Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. 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 Imperfectly sensed. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. So ruddy skin. So they show themselves as ruddy. Here, ruddy complex. Oh yeah, that's what I should do. What am I doing? Complexion. Yeah. Okay. This is what they will have. Ruddy complexion. This is ruddy. Fucking joke. Anyway, this is what they're telling you. Ruddy cheeks and stuff like that. Ruddy cheeks, ruddy complexion. Okay. So if you type in ruddy duck, what do you get? You get brown, different shades of brown, because it's wet, so it has a different shade. You know how brown goes. Anyway, ruddy cow. You see, like, oh yeah, there's orange. Yeah, to a certain degree it's orange, but if you look at it closely, it's brown. That's why I know that redheads doesn't exist. Redheads are, this is all fake. A real one. Redheads in autumn, what do they look like? This is orange. And if you look closely, certain ones of them, it's brown. There's no such thing as a fucking redhead. That's why when they make pictures, they specifically target orange brownish clothing and light brown clothing and dark brown shoes, because her hair is a reflection of brown with the autumn leaves and stuff like that. They know what the truth is, but they're lying to you. You know what? You know what's red to me? To everybody in existence, this is fucking red. This is red, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is orange. This is orange, okay? So this goes into it. This is brown, and certain ones are kind of orangey, brownish. This is fake hair. It's not real. There's no such thing as orange hair. There's, wait, I didn't say it good. Wait, there's no such thing as this type of bright orange. They dye their hair orange. That's what I mean. But this one is, people like this exist, and you have people like this and stuff like that, you know. But the bright orange, look, it's brown. This one is brown once more. They call it red because they're mammals. They're colorblind. Like a mammal can't see color straight or some stupid shit like that. But anyway, so it's imperfectly censored. They're lies. It's imperfect because if you type in ruddy dog, you get this one. Then you type in ruddy cat, you get this one. different shades of brown, looking orange-ish. And if you play with colors, you will see that the more black you put on bright orange, it will get brown. You have brown, what? Brown cat, brown dog, brown paint, ruddy paint. Here you go. Ruddy paint. What do you see? Do you see red? Do you see red here? This is what happens. This is, come on, man. This is ruddy. They're lying to you. And but then again, our people believe in flying fucking reindeers. So, why are you trying to have a discussion with them? You're giving the pearls of the Lord to a beast, a swine. Don't bother yourself with these people because they want to irritate you. And so long as one retained one's knowledge of old speak, it was possible for them to read it, because if you watch the movie Fahrenheit 451, you will see that they will burn all the books away, and then they will introduce new speech books, so that when you read, that's why I hate this shit. Oh, he's so toxic relationships. Toxic. You know what the fuck toxic means to me? Huh? The origin, I'll get frustrated when I'm because it's dumb. Toxic. This is toxic. This is when people say it's a toxic relationship, I'm looking at you like, man, what? They're screwing up the meaning of things. But that's because the caucus is doing it. Before you know it, the so-called black people are going to be called whatever the fuck, you know? There's a new thing going on. Because that's what they do. Every year they come up with, every certain amounts of year, they come up with a new thing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, gay used to mean happy. But anyway, so basically, I'm going to leave the rest for you so you can check it out for yourself and stuff like that. Let me go back to where I was actually, which is, I'll put this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. They changed things here. Instead of putting Edom, they put Idumea so that you don't know. But now we have the internet, we have access to dictionaries and stuff like that. So you can look up what the word Idumea means, and you'd be like, it's Edom. So why did you put a Greek word? No. Why did you put a translated from the Greek word in the Old Testament, where the Old Testament is translated from the Hebrew to the English? Why did you do that? Why do you think? That's what he would answer you. That's what you would answer for yourself, for him. You know, you put words in his mouth. You answer for the devil. You know better. You know why he did that. He doesn't want you to see the destruction on Edom, because at that time they kind of knew. Well, the average people, to a certain degree. Anyway, so it says right here, Matthew chapter 3, verse 3. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of Yahweh, the Lord Yahushua, make his path straight. And the same John had his raiment from camel's hair, and a girdle, and a leather girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and wild honey. So now here you see that the prophet John the Baptist, he had also a raiments of camel's hair. That is what that represents. And here, Zechariah 13:2. Wait, let me do something first. I need to go. Wait. Right, so sorry about that. Let me go on. Now it says here, Zechariah chapter 13, verse 4. And it came to pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed every one of his vision. So there will be a future where the prophets will be ashamed for their vision when he had prophesied. Neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive. So basically they're going to deny being a prophet and stuff like that. They're not going to want to be it anymore. They're going to be ashamed of it. And they're also not going to falsify themselves as true prophets by wearing prophet clothing, which the prophet clothing were rough garments, because they had a lot of times it was just, stitched together and stuff like that. I'll give you an example. So it shows here. Here, hairy mantle. You have this here from back in the days. You had that, and then you had these type of things which were rough garments. This thing too. For example, when you wear this, all of a sudden you turn kind of rough.